I pulled off a shoot like this with one $20 light. And today, I'm going to tell you how I did it. Hello. Good morning. I hope you all are doing fantastic today. For those of you who are first-time viewers, my name is McKenna. I am a photographer. I own Studio SB Creatives. And today, we're going to be talking about how I shot a professional model shoot with one $20 light. A little bit of background on the shoot, though. The girl I did the shoot with is one of my best friends in the entire world, and her and I, for the last few months, have been going back and forth trying to do some sort of creative styled shoot, and neither of us were really sure what we wanted to do. We both had ideas, and we could do this or we could do that, but every time we tried to schedule something out, we just weren't really feeling it. And fast forward a couple months, the time finally came. I was going through our old text messages and I brought it back up. I was like, "Hey, are you still interested in doing something like this?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm gonna go thrifting tomorrow and I'm gonna get a bunch of stuff and I'd love to do it." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I started thinking about it. I was like, "Well, where do I want to shoot this? How do I want to shoot this?" Like, we had a bunch of ideas, but I never really thought about how I wanted it to look. So I'm looking back through the photos and I'm like, okay, I could do this, but what kind of equipment am I going to need? Am I going to need a flash? Am I going to need like these lenses? Do I want to do something more like this style or this style? And I was overwhelming myself trying to think about how I wanted it to look. And I was just like, screw it, man. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to let whatever happens happen and kind of go from there. And that's exactly what we did. So basically, after I got there, she's getting ready. I'm setting everything up, and I realized, I did have a specific look in my mind. I didn't know how I was going to achieve it, though. I had this idea where I wanted kind of this blank canvas, right, with maybe just a couple objects here and there in the foreground or background to give the composition a little bit of depth. And there was one specific look that I was trying to achieve. And when I realized that my equipment was limited to what it was, there was no way I was going to be able to do it. So I had to like think outside the box a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'll just bring these cheap little lights with me and maybe they'll work out. If you ever heard that you need good equipment to take good photos, I am going to break that stigma for you today because there is no way I should have been able to pull this off to the caliber that I did it with the equipment that I had. Now, I did have a top of the line lens, which made a massive difference in the quality of the photo. But photography is more about just the lens and the camera body. There is a whole lot of aspects that go into it, such as the lighting, which was the most important part of this shoot. And I'm going to explain to you how I set it up in such a way that made it look like it was a few $100 or even few $1,000 setup. So when we look at my light, it's literally just a cheap little box light. I don't even know the name of the brand off the top of my head, but it's what I use to light the videos. It's what I'm using to light this video right now. It's on a cheap tripod. It goes up pretty high. It has sandbags to keep it weighed down. But other than that, it just uses like 4 of those little swirly lights. It only has one temperature, bright white, and you can either use all 4 at once or just 2 at a time on each side, depending on the look that you're trying to achieve. And I always have all 4 on, but you never know what kind of look you're trying to go for. So having only 2 and having more of a shadow might work better for you, but I usually keep all 4 on. Anyway, so the way that this was set up was I had my subject set up right in the middle of the composition. I took some where I did the rule of thirds, but most of the photos I shot was just a center aligned object. That's how I take a lot of my photos. That's just how I like to shoot. I like to have everything in center of frame. And then I was facing her outside the composition line. And then we started with the light on the right side because there was a window on my left that had some ambient light coming in, some super diffused light. It was snowing out, the clouds were out. It was just this nice white light. There were like no harsh edges on her face or anything. And then basically the light that I brought in was just used as a fill light. However, about a third of the way through the shoot, everything kind of shifted. It started to get dark out. It's winter in Michigan, so when it starts getting dark, it gets dark fast. So what I did was I moved the light from the left side of her face, my right, over to the right side of her face, which was on my left, and it was a little bit further back than on this side. So it was a little bit more on her side, whereas when it was on this side, it was a little bit more on an angle, kind of hitting her from the front, like right here. When it was on this side, it was hitting this whole side of her face, angled a little bit towards the center of her face. And when I saw that lighting, I took that first photo, I was like, holy crap, this looks incredible. And as I was taking the photos, I showed her some of them, and I got some reactions like this.
Whoa, that's a good picture. Wow, I look like a real model. That's a good picture too. I love that. Oh my god! That is so good too. I love. Oh my god! That's so epic. Damn! Yeah, those are good. Oh my god, that one is so cute. That one is so good.
So yeah, basically that's how I pulled off a professional model shoot with one $20 light. And you can too. You do not need expensive equipment to take good photos. That is a blatant lie. It's ludicrous is what it is. I mean, will better equipment help you take better photos? Yeah, it will, depending on what you're trying to shoot. But the idea that you need good equipment to take good photos that's not true at all. When it comes to taking good photos, what I think you need more than anything is a strong understanding of your camera and just the experience that comes with going out and shooting every day. That's truly what I think it boils down to. So yeah, if you have any questions or you're looking for recommendations on lights or anything, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'll leave in the description what the lights are that I used. But if you found any other value from this video, please subscribe, leave me a comment, leave me a like. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I will do my best to answer all those as fast as I can. And yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. It's been a short one today, but I had a lot of fun on the shoot, and I hope that you guys kind of had fun walking through how I did it. So I will see you in the next one.